On one hand, Donald Trump is negotiating in his own way for a ceasefire in Ukraine. On the other, the US president has unleashed a different kind of war. On Monday, Trump followed through on his threat to impose tariffs on his biggest trading partners, setting the stage for a global trade war.
Very importantly, tomorrow tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs.
On the tariffs, is there any room left for Canada and Mexico to make a deal before midnight? And should we expect those Chinese tariffs, the extra 10%, to take effect tomorrow?
No room left for Mexico or for Canada. No, the tariffs, they're all set. They go into effect tomorrow.
He imposed an additional 10% tariff on China and announced reciprocal tariffs would kick in on 2nd of April for other trade partners, including India.
Well, I can't say. It depends on what they do with their currency. It depends on what they do in terms of a retaliation with some kind of an economic retaliation, which I don't think they're going to retaliate too much. Reciprocal tariffs start on April 2nd. And I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to go April Fool's Day, because that costs a lot of money, but that one day. But so we're going April 2nd.
In 2024, Mexico, Canada and China were the top 3 trading partners of United States, accounting for 41% of total trade. Notably, each of these countries runs a massive trade surplus against the US. India ranked 10th on the list with a $46 billion trade surplus last year. The US automobile industry is expected to take a major hit. In 2024 alone, the US imported over $202 billion worth of vehicles and auto parts from Canada and Mexico. Canada also exports crude oil and other energy products as part of the North American auto manufacturing chain. The metals industry will also be severely impacted. Trump has announced tariffs on all imported steel and aluminium, a direct blow to automakers, aerospace companies, and the construction sector. The US remains the world's largest aluminium importer and the second largest steel importer. The semiconductor sector is another major target. Trump has proposed tariffs on imported computer chips with a focus on Taiwan, a key supplier for Nvidia, Apple, and the US tech giants. TSMC, the world's largest contract chip maker, has attempted to cushion the blow by announcing a $100 billion investment in the US. Even the pharmaceutical sector isn't immune. Trump has hinted at tariffs on pharma supplies and medications, a major policy shift as pharmaceuticals have historically been exempt from trade restrictions. Meanwhile, China has hit back with its own set of retaliatory measures, pushing the world's 2 largest economies closer to an all-out trade war. Beijing has imposed up to 15% import duties on a range of American agricultural and food products. It has also placed 25 US firms under export and investment restrictions on national security grounds. 10 of these 25 firms were specifically targeted for selling arms to Taiwan. China has also filed a lawsuit in the World Trade Organization against the US tariffs.
美方如果真想解决芬太尼问题，就应该在平等。
If the US wants to resolve the fentanyl issue, it should engage in consultations with China on the basis of equality, mutual respect, and reciprocity to address each other's concerns. However, if the US harbors ulterior motives and insists on waging a tariff war, trade war, or any other kind of war, China will play along to the end. We urge US to abandon its bullying stance and return to the right track of dialogue and cooperation as soon as possible.
趁早回到对话合作的正确轨道上来。
Canada is also flexing its muscles, threatening reciprocal tariffs of its own. In an unprecedented move, Canada has warned it may also cut power supply to US border states.